Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of my tutorial video channel. In this video, I will discuss differential costs in long run, perfectly competitive market and economic rent. We know the perfectly competitive firm reaches equilibrium either in identical cost conditions or in under differential cost conditions in the long run. When there is identical cost, then all the firms will be earning supernormal profit, or all the firms will be earning only normal profit, or all the firms would be incurring abnormal loss. And when the cost differences are there, that is, some firms are employing efficient resources and some firms are employing less efficient resources, then the concept of marginal firm and intra-marginal firm is very important. The marginal firm is that firm which leaves the industry first if the price falls, and the marginal firm earns only normal profit, whereas the intra-marginal firms earn supernormal profit. Let us draw the diagrams first. This is for intra-marginal firms and this one for the marginal firm. We are considering only two firms. There can be more than one marginal firms and there can be more than one intra-marginal firms, because we know in perfect competition there are many sellers as well as many buyers. We draw the diagram. On x-axis we measure quantity and on y-axis we measure price, AR, that is average revenue, MR, average cost, AC and MC. Here also we do the same thing. On x-axis we measure quantity and on y-axis we measure price, average revenue, marginal revenue, average cost and marginal cost. Price is determined in the industry by the interaction of demand and supply, and individual firms are only merely price takers. They cannot influence the price by selling more. So price is fixed in the industry and all the firms are merely price acceptors or price takers. Let P sub 0 is the price determined in the industry. This is the average revenue curve, which is also the marginal revenue curve. This is average revenue curve, also the marginal revenue curve. Why? Because price is not changing. The firms cannot change the price. Now let it be the marginal cost curve of the intermarginal firm, that is long run marginal cost curve of the intermarginal firm, and let this be the long run marginal cost curve of the marginal firm, and let this be the long run average cost curve of the marginal firm, and let this be the long run average cost curve of the marginal firm. So this is LAC, long run average cost curve of intermarginal firm. This is LMC, long run marginal cost curve of the intermarginal firm. This is LAC, long run average cost curve of marginal firm. And this is LMC, long run marginal cost curve of the marginal firm. And AR and MR are same for both the firms because they cannot change the price. Price is determined in the industry. They can only accept the price and adjust the marginal cost with marginal revenue. That is, firms can equate the marginal cost and marginal revenue to determine how much quantity they would produce. Here you see the marginal long run marginal cost and long run marginal revenue curve intersect at this point. So this is the equilibrium quantity. Say Q sub I. I stands for intramarginal firm. Here you can see that the average revenue curve lies above the average cost curve. Hence the firm is earning supernormal profit. The area of the rectangle is the amount of profit, which is called supernormal profit. And in this case, you can see the long run average cost curve touches the average revenue curve at that point where MR and MC intersect. That is at this point. And it is the minimum point of the long run average cost curve, because we know that the marginal cost always intersects the average cost curve at the latest minimum point. So here, this is the equilibrium quantity, say Q sub M, M for marginal. You can see the marginal firm is neither earning any profit nor incurring any loss, whereas the intramarginal firms are earning profit. Now the question is, will the supernormal profit earned by the intramarginal firm be wiped out? You see, the marginal firm has higher cost, higher average cost than the intramarginal firm. Why? The intramarginal firm is deploying more efficient resources. As a result, their productivity is higher compared to the marginal firm, so their average cost is lower. In the same way, the marginal firm is employing less efficient resources. As a result, their cost is higher compared to the intramarginal firm, so they are able to earn only normal profit. And remember, the condition of equilibrium under perfect competition in the long run is that price equal to MC of all firms and price is equal to lowest point or minimum point of AC of the marginal firm. Marginal firm is that firm which first leaves the industry if price falls. Now in this video we are more interested about the supernormal profit, that is the area of this rectangle earned by the intramarginal firm. The question is whether the supernormal profit will be wiped out or not. You see, why the intramarginal firm is earning supernormal profit? Because the firm is employing more efficient resources. Now, more efficient resources mean more costly than less efficient resources. Say for example, manager of the intramarginal firm, the manager of the intramarginal firm is Mr. X, and manager of the marginal firm is Mr. Y. Now Mr. X is running the business in such a way that the firm is earning supernormal profit, and Mr. Y is not able to run the business as successfully as Mr. X, so that the marginal firm is earning only normal profit. Now the firm, intramarginal firm, can earn supernormal profit not only because of efficiency of the management, but due to many other factors as well. That is quality of raw material, productivity of labor, size and productivity of plant and machinery, geographical location. There are many factors for which the intramarginal firm earns supernormal profit, that is profit higher than the profit earned by the marginal firm. Now, since the intramarginal firm is deploying more efficient resources, the price of the efficient resources will be bid up due to competition among the intramarginal firms. Okay, and ultimately the profit, the extra profit that the intramarginal firm is earning, which is called supernormal profit, will ultimately be paid out to the owners of the efficient resources. Correct? Let us take an example. Suppose Mr. X is the manager of intramarginal firm and Mr. Y is the manager of marginal firm. Mr. X is running the business in such a way that the cost of production of this intramarginal firm is 20,000 lower than the cost of production of marginal firm. This means to say, Mr. X is running the business in such a way that this intramarginal firm's expense total cost is 20,000 lower than the cost of marginal firm, which is run by Mr. Y. So, Mr. X deserves a salary 20,000 more than what Mr. Y is getting. Here he is the owner of the efficient resource, that is efficient management. So Mr. X deserves to get a salary 20,000 higher than what Mr. Y is getting. Correct? Now suppose Mr. X is being paid a salary which is 10,000 higher than Mr. Y. Correct? But Mr. X's expectation is to earn a salary which is 20,000 more than Mr. Y. So there are other firms who will try to engage Mr. X or appoint Mr. X by offering a salary which is, say, 11,000 more than what Mr. Y is getting. Currently, Mr. X is getting a salary which is 10,000 more than what Mr. Y is getting. Now, other firms will try to appoint Mr. X to get efficient resources in terms of management. Now, this firm, that is this intramarginal firm, is paying Mr. X a salary which is 10,000 more than Mr. Y. What Mr. Y is getting from the marginal firm. But Mr. X's expectation is to get a salary which is 20,000 higher than Mr. Y's salary. So some other firms will offer Mr. X a salary which is, say, 11,000 or 12,000 higher than what Mr. Y is getting. If this happens, then the owner of this firm, intramarginal firm, will offer Mr. X a salary which is, say, 15,000 more than what Mr. Y is getting in order to keep Mr. X appointed in this firm. So in this way, Mr. X's salary will go up till the excess profit which this intramarginal firm is earning will be wiped out. That is, when Mr. X will get a salary which is exactly 20,000 more than what Mr. Y is getting, the firm will be earning supernormal profit. But the moment Mr. X's salary becomes 20,000 more than Mr. Y's salary, then the supernormal profit will be wiped out. So ultimately the firm will be earning only normal profit. Now we can draw this diagram. This is LSE, this is LMC, this is AR or MR of the intramarginal firm. This is quantity, here price, AR, MR, AC and MC. This is P sub 0 is the price. Here the firm is earning supernormal profit. But ultimately the extra profit that the intramarginal firm is earning will be wiped out by paying the owners of the efficient resources. In this case, this is management, that is the manager's salary. So ultimately the LSE curve will be like this. That is, the air will be tangent at the minimum point of the LHC curve. Correct? Yeah. This is all about differential costs in long run perfect computation and economic rate. In economics, this is called economic rent. The supernormal profit is called economic rent. This is earned by the intramarginal firm because they are capable of employing efficient resources, but that economic rent, which is actually the supernormal profit, will be wiped out by paying out to the owners of the efficient resources. Okay? Yeah. So far so good. I believe you have understood this well. Still, should have you any doubt in your mind? If you have any particular question, please don't hesitate to let me know through the comment box. I shall be very glad to reply to all your relevant queries. If you think this video is beneficial for you, please do share the video with your friends, brothers, sisters and colleagues so that they can be benefited by watching this video. And finally, thank you very much for your precious time. Stay well and goodbye.